You thought that I was starting the fic, but no. You were fooled. Instead, you get a cameo from me. But anyways, I just want to say that, holy shit, I have officially recorded the entirety of Cheat Code. This video officially marks the completion of my first long fic of many to come, and I think that's kind of wild. I want to give a quick thank you to everyone that has stuck around for the long haul, because it sure was a long one, and I'm glad to have gotten the chance to share my love of this certified masterpiece with all of y'all. And with that, on to the last chapter. Enjoy. Cheat Code Support Strategist by myheadinthecoudsnotcomingdown. Read by Rat Overlord. Chapter 89. Heroes. Summary. Netsu makes an offer. Isuku and Mei were in a construction tent that was currently doubling as Netsu's office.
Do you think Netsu wants to talk about the tunnels or the trebuchets?
Mei asked.
Ooh! Maybe he has a new project he wants us to work on?
I'm not sure. Isuku hummed. Don't get too excited though, Mei. He probably just asked us to come so we could talk about logistics. Netsu's voice rang out behind them.
In a way, you are both correct.
Isuku and Mei looked up to see Netsu walking into the tent.
So, do we have a new project?
Mei asked hopefully.
Of a sort,
Netsu said, taking a seat.
I'm sure you're well aware that the provisional licensing exam for our Hero Corps students is mere weeks away.
Yeah. Isuku nodded. Do you want us to give everyone another analysis? Or maybe help them train one-on-one in preparation for the exam?
No.
Netsu smiled.
I would like for you to take the exam.
The walk to the mochi shop was nice. It was a warm day, and even though he didn't have to, Hitoshi held her hand the whole way. Ochako felt like her face was on fire, and she really hoped that her naturally pink cheeks disguised at least some of the blush, but knew that was probably hoping for far too much. Finally, Hitoshi broke the silence.
What do you think of the new dorms?
It's kind of weird, Ochako said. I just barely moved back in with my parents, and now I'm gonna be moving out again. It's just a whole lot of moving.
Well, at least you're a teleporter.
Hitoshi smiled.
You're always going to be Ocha going someplace or another.
Ochako shot him a playful glare, and he laughed, nudging her slightly, and they walked the last block to the mochi shop in comfortable silence. Isuku stared at Netsu in disbelief.
Wait, what? We're not heroes. We're support. We don't even want to be heroes.
What Isuku said.
Mei nodded.
I'm not abandoning my babies.
Netsu held up his hand in a calming gesture. We're not asking you to do that. You would simply be primarily in support, but with your prominent involvement in every villain attack we've experienced so far this year, not to mention the increased danger that will come now that your identity as Cheat Code is more widely known, it only makes sense for you to be able to defend yourselves, both in terms of skill and legality. And, of course, in order to do so most effectively, you would need hero licenses.
But we don't want hero licenses,
Mei said simply.
Licenses mean work and time that I could be using to perfect my babies, so no thank you.
It also means using those inventions to help other people, Netsu pointed out, which you have already proven that you are more than capable of doing with great effect. The licenses would simply give you more freedom and resources to do what you have already been doing of your own prerogative.
But we don't want to be heroes.
Isuku stood up.
And even if I did want to be a hero, which I don't, I can't.
Netsu tilted his head. And why do you say that? Isuku looked at him incredulously.
Because I'm quirkless? I thought that was obvious by now.
Netsu looked at him sadly. I suppose your reaction makes much more sense now, even if I do not agree. Isuku stopped.
What?
The idea that a quirkless person cannot become a hero is, quite happily, incorrect, Netsu chirped. Of course, there will be more difficulties, but you excel at overcoming every obstacle in your path, so I have no doubt of your capabilities, and there are yes, I believe it is perfectly possible for you to become a hero. Isuku shook his head.
Look, I gave up on that dream a long time ago.
Be that as it may, Netsu interrupted, getting licensed is still the best course of action. You may not have had any legal ramifications from your involvement thus far, but if you keep assisting as you have been in performing heroics without a license, that will not always be the case.
But we're not performing heroics,
May argued.
We're acting as support, which is what we want to do. That's why we came to UA in the first place.
Yeah,
Isuku agreed.
what we're doing isn't hero work.
You are saving people. Netsu shrugged. I fail to see the difference.
I never wanted to be a hero.
May said.
It would take my focus away from my babies.
It would also give you better opportunities to advertise them. Netsu smiled. Imagine seeing a hero using their own inventions and trusting their life to them. How much more enticing would those inventions look, both to the public and to other heroes? Much more effective than a traditional commercial, don't you think? May bit her lip.
Well, when you put it like that...
How about I let you think on it? Netsu suggested. You two can talk it over and tell me your decision by tonight. That way we can properly adjust your schedules for the upcoming semester. I assure you that you will still be primarily students of Class 1F, but you will be joining Class 1A for subjects such as heroics and combat. You would both be support and heroes. Support heroes, if you would. Isuku and May shared a look. They had a lot to think about. Hitoshi smiled as he overlooked the large array of mochi that they'd ended up with.
You know, this is probably too much mochi for 2 people.
Ochako hummed. That's what a coward would say. What, Shindig? Aren't you up for a challenge?
Oh, I'm always up for a challenge.
Hitoshi smirked.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to catch a teleporter.
Ochako blushed and ducked her head. I guess not.
Oh, my adoption papers are going to be coming through soon.
Hitoshi said.
It's weird timing right when we're having to pack everything up for the dorms.
How is that even gonna work? Ochako's eyes widened. The dorms, not the adoption. Obviously not. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Congratulations. Hitoshi managed to hold back for a few seconds before bursting into laughter.
Well, for the adoption, you see, when 2 men love each other very much...
Ochako hit his arm. Oh, shut up! You realize I can just leave, right? Hitoshi gave her a cocky smile.
And yet you're still here.
Ochako raised an eyebrow. I don't have to be. Hitoshi smirked.
They're giving my adults an apartment on campus so they can hang around and respond if there's any issue in the dorm or whatever. I get a normal dorm like everyone else, but I'll also have a room at the apartment if I want it. It's just kinda up to me.
Ochako nodded. It sounds like fun. I'm glad you're in 1A now. It would have been so weird if you had to live in the 1C dorms. I mean, it's gonna be weird enough with Mei and Isuku living in 1F.
Let's be honest.
Hitoshi rolled his eyes.
Those 2 are gonna be living in the tunnels. The rats already practically adopted them, so they may as well just make their home in the maze.
Ochako laughed. Yeah, they're probably there now. Isuku paced back and forth in one of the few areas of the school that had been completed, while Mei sat on the floor working on her latest project.
You're going to give yourself motion sickness.
Isuku slumped down onto the floor with a huff.
What gives them the right to tell me I can be a hero now of all times, Mei-chan? I begged to be a hero for 10 years. That's a whole decade and everyone told me no. Even my mom. But now that I've given up and found a new goal and I'm finally in a good place, now all of a sudden it was possible all along? How does that make any sense? What gives them the right to suddenly just change their minds like that?
In his defense,
Mei said,
Netsu was never one of the ones who told you that.
My old principal did.
Isuku argued.
And my teachers and Kachan and literally everyone else. I finally accepted that it was impossible, Mei. I found a new dream, and I even held a pity party, for goodness sake. I threw a goddamn mental funeral for my own dream. What gives them the right to tell me I can be a hero after I put in all that work to come to terms with the fact that I couldn't?
May put down her invention and reached for his hand.
You're being an idiot.
She turned away and started tinkering with her tools again while Isuku stared at her in shock.
Excuse me? I thought girlfriends were supposed to be supportive.
Not when you're being stupid.
May said simply.
I put a lot of work into inventions that never work out, but does that mean that I shouldn't try? No! Even if it blows up in my face, it was still worth the work that I put into it because I learned something from it. You're just over there giving into the sunk cost fallacy, so no, I'm not going to agree with you. You're being stupid.
Isuku froze.
Oh.
May snorted.
Yep. It doesn't matter what work you've already put in, Izukun. You can't change that. What you can change is what you do now. I think Netsu's right. Being heroes will give us a really great opportunity to market our inventions and will give us more resources to do what we've already been doing. But you're my partner, so I'm not going to be doing it without you.
Isuku took a deep breath and took May's hand before walking into the classroom. Aizawa greeted them with a nod, and Hitoshi and Ochako smiled at them while the rest of the class exchanged glances of confusion. Isuku squeezed May's hand a little tighter and gave a little wave.
Hello, everyone. Class, you already know cheat code.
Aizawa said.
Shinso, would you like to introduce us to your friends and explain a little bit about why they're here? Yeah.
Hitoshi stood up with a grin.
Everybody, these are my kidnappers, Isuku Midoriya and Mei Hatsume. They are going to be heroes.
Wow, what an ending. You know, I didn't really anticipate this ending when I had first read it, but honestly, now that I've reread it, I wouldn't have wanted for it to end any other way. Now Aizawa has to cope with having to deal with the chaotic vent gremlins on a daily basis. Maybe they should fix his goggles as payment or something for all the gray hairs and nightmares they're gonna give him. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed, because I know I certainly did. And if you did, feel free to leave a like or comment down below, because I always love hearing from you guys. And be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with whenever I post. Oh, fun fact, actually, my mom and I are going to see Hades Town today, which is by far my all-time favorite musical, by the way. So I guess it'll be like a mini reward for officially completing this project. But anyways, here's your little daily reminder to go chug some of that dihydrogen monoxide. And also, I have a little bit of bloopers.
That's what a coward would say. What, Shindig? Aren't you up for a challenge?
Oh, I'm always up for a challenge.
Hitoshi smirked.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to catch a teleporter.
Oh my gosh. Wow, shit. That was smooth. Wow, I'm like gaping.